it was a page turner, and that rarely happens in my world. You get a lot of page turners where you're turning the page and you go, wait, what happened? Why was that? Well, oh, that's not supported. You don't get a lot of this.
Just minutes ago, we uncovered a startling shift. At 73, Don Johnson, once a glittering icon, now grapples with the stark reality of losing it all.
The look, was that something that someone gave to you, a stylist or something?
No, it was a function of the heat.
Oh, in Miami?
Yeah, I would go to work in July, which is like going to Cambodia. Anytime.
Right.
From his thrilling days as the suave Sonny Crockett on Miami Vice to lavish lifestyles filled with fast cars and even faster company, his journey had been the stuff of legends. Married to Melanie Griffith and rubbing elbows with the elite, he was the epitome of Hollywood glam. Yet now stripped of his wealth, what remains of Don Johnson? Tune in as we reveal his astounding comeback from the brink. The rise and stumbles of a Hollywood icon. His first real break came in the 1970s when he landed some small roles in movies. These parts didn't make him famous right away, but they helped him get his foot in the door. People started to notice him, although most still didn't know his name. His determination eventually paid off, and soon bigger opportunities started coming his way. Just as his career was about to skyrocket, a figure from his past emerged, threatening to expose a devastating secret. The real turning point came in the 1980s when he starred in the hit show Miami Vice. Playing the cool and stylish detective Sonny Crockett, Don became a star. With a flashy Lamborghini, a houseboat, and even a pet alligator named Elvis, his character captured everyone's attention. This role not only brought him fame, but also some important connections in the industry.
A revival of USA Network's Nash Bridges with series star Don Johnson is filming right now in San Francisco. Johnson will reprise the title character, a San Francisco Police Department investigator, which will air first as a 2-hour movie.
He married actress Melanie Griffith, twice released a successful soft rock album, and even joined a powerboat racing team alongside other celebrities like Chuck Norris and Kurt Russell. But fame wasn't always easy to handle. After Miami Vice, he continued to show off his acting skills in both movies and TV shows. He took on a very different role in the 1988 romantic comedy Sweetheart's Dance, where he played Wiley Boone, a man struggling with emotions that could tear his family apart. It was a big change from the tough guy roles he usually played. Then, in 1996, he returned to TV with the show Nash Bridges, where he played a San Francisco police inspector. The show was popular, but this is when his financial troubles began to surface. He didn't stop working, though. He kept taking on a wide variety of roles, like in Kevin Costner's Tin Cup in 1996 and Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained in 2012. He also made guest appearances on shows like Eastbound and Down and From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. Despite his fame, he struggled with personal issues. He battled substance violence, dealt with infidelity, and felt trapped by the constant media attention. The paparazzi wouldn't leave him alone, and the stress of it all took its toll. But this wasn't the worst part.
And in the first of a 4-part report this week, Gene Shalit asks Melanie Griffith to describe the character she plays.
Even though he had such a long and successful career, his financial problems became a major issue. How could someone with so much success and continuous work end up in such a tough spot? It's a reminder of how unpredictable fame can be and the challenges that come with living in the public eye. As he faces these financial difficulties, many wonder if he can overcome them and find a way to rebuild his life. His journey is far from over, and it's a story of resilience in the face of unexpected challenges. Can he reclaim his former success, or will these financial troubles continue to follow him? Only time will tell. Before his long-lasting marriage, he had another relationship that even now competes with the happiness of his current one. This earlier romance was full of drama, spanning more than 2 decades with 2 attempts at marriage. Their first attempt was a quick decision made in Las Vegas when Melanie was just 18. A move that kept gossip columns busy for years, especially amid whispers that he was seeing others at the same time. He eventually admitted to the public that just before his first marriage to Melanie, he was involved with another woman. As their early days fade, a story of friendship begins, crossing paths in unexpected ways, tangled hearts in Tinseltown. They first crossed paths when he was 20 and Melanie only 14. Despite the significant age difference, there were no early romantic sparks, partly due to her young age. Their friendship began on the set of The Herod Experiment in 1973, where he played a student and Melanie's mother, Tippi Hedren, played an intimate violence education teacher. Over the years, questions about their relationship arose, and in a 1975 interview with People magazine, he expressed discomfort about the age gap, especially when picking Melanie up from school. He emphasized that he never went behind Hedren's back, although he couldn't say the same about his fidelity to Melanie, who believed his loyalty spared her from other heartbreaks. At 15, Melanie moved into his Laurel Canyon home, leaving behind her mother's house and her pet lions. Encouraged by him, she soon started her acting career. The couple viewed the engagement ring he gave Melanie on her 18th birthday as a symbol of their deep friendship, rather than a promise of immediate marriage. Their first serious personal issue arose the night before their Vegas wedding, when he spent the night with another woman. Despite their plans, their relationship was fraught with difficulties. Melanie told People in 1989 that their relationship was challenging, yet they couldn't bring themselves to end it. They were candid about his relationships with other women and their struggles with substance violence. The affair the night before their wedding involved Wallace, a model and former Miss World. Melanie called him early in the morning, leading to a spontaneous decision to marry in Las Vegas. However, their marriage quickly showed signs of strain, and they separated within a year. Melanie commemorated their troubled times with a pear tattoo on her buttocks, a quirky reminder of his nickname, Père, which means father in French. She once thought marriage would simplify their lives, but realized it only compounded their issues. After their breakup, Melanie dated Ryan O'Neal and later married Stephen Bauer, her co-star in She's in the Army Now, with whom she had a son, Alexander. Meanwhile, he had a son, Jesse, with actress Patty D'Arbanville.
Right out there, pal. You want to cool in a...
Who's Patty?
Patty D'Arbanville. She's the mother of my son, Jesse.
Their first divorce didn't mark the end of their romantic trials. They remarried as both their careers flourished. Melanie starred in major films like Body Double, Something Wild, and Working Girl, earning critical acclaim, while he became a star with Miami Vice. Their rekindled romance led Melanie to seek help for alcohol dependency. They ended their other relationships and in 1989 embraced a conventional domestic life in Aspen, proudly announcing their expected child, Dakota Johnson, who would go on to star in 50 Shades of Grey. They remarried that June but eventually divorced again in 1994 due to irreconcilable differences, despite earlier optimistic hopes for their reunion. However, they continue to support their children's endeavors together, demonstrating a lasting bond beyond their romantic history. In 2003, he found himself at the center of a major financial scandal. As he was crossing the border, authorities discovered documents in his car worth $8 billion, including credit notes. This immediately made him a suspect in a massive financial crime. The media quickly caught wind of the story and ran with it, exaggerating the details. Because of the bad press, he lost financial backing for his upcoming film, and even his bank accounts were shut down. Being such a high-profile figure only made things worse for him. The Los Angeles Times reported that the German government was looking into the situation. Wolfgang Schmitz, from the Cologne Customs Office, told Bloomberg News that officials were carefully examining the documents to figure out their next move. While this sounded neutral, things took a more doubtful turn when Jörg Groner from the Baden-Württemberg Customs Investigation Department shared his thoughts. He suggested that Don might be working for someone else, making the situation seem even more suspicious. With his reputation at stake, he's ready to fight to clear his name, trapped in a global money maze. But this wasn't the worst part. Some experts believed that he was getting unfairly caught in accusations of money laundering. It looked like he could be arrested and thrown in jail at any moment if things went south. Fortunately for him, the German customs team verified the vehicle's paperwork, and his repeated claims of innocence helped back up his case. However, it's still not completely clear if he managed to avoid jail time altogether. After the dust settled, Don decided to speak out. He explained to the public what had happened and tried to clear his name regarding the strange documents in his car. His lawyer, Ronald Litz, was also frustrated by the situation. Litz explained that he had been in Germany simply to secure financing for a film. The media frenzy after his arrest caused European investors to back off, which wasn't surprising given that no one wanted to be tied to a financial scandal. But things didn't start off with him. The trouble began when his personal assistant went to Switzerland with a financial advisor to meet potential investors for future film projects. The investors gave him financial paperwork for his trip to Germany, a routine task that took a disastrous turn. The situation reached its peak when he talked about his closed bank accounts in an interview with Larry King, showing just how far-reaching the consequences of this ordeal were. He eventually got past it, but this situation really messed with his personal life. He struggled with drinking for a long time before he was finally able to quit. The press, of course, took every chance they could to stir up trouble. In the 1980s, when he was at the top of his career, he met a businessman. After talking for about 20 minutes, they took a photo together. Years later, that photo popped up again, and people started questioning his connection to the famous businessman, Donald Trump. The media loved to cause a stir whenever Trump was involved because of all the controversies around him. But this time, their attempt didn't go anywhere. His dealings in real estate also gave the media more fuel for gossip, especially when it came to his financial situation.
You take the glamour out of it, and you take the gangs out of it, you take the drug dealers out of it, and you make it a less glamorous thing.
In 2006, rumors began to spread that he was struggling to pay off a $10.6 million mortgage on his 17-acre ranch in Aspen, Colorado. By May 2008, people were saying that the bank was only a day away from taking his property. Thankfully, just in time, he managed to settle a massive debt of $14.5 million, saving his ranch and avoiding a huge public embarrassment. But the media didn't stop. They often focused on any negative financial news about him. In 2013, he and his wife Kelly bought a farmhouse in Montecito for $12.5 million. A year later, they sold it for $14.9 million after finding a new home that fit them better, making a nice profit in the process. Even though the media liked to focus on his financial troubles, stories like this showed he still had some solid wins. Sometimes he got lucky with his finances, which helped make up for his past bad luck. There were times when it looked like things were finally going his way, and some of his old financial problems seemed to disappear. After his legal battles, a new challenge arises, bringing past conflicts back into focus: the high stakes of Hollywood's legal battles. One of the big moments in his career came when he landed a role in the TV show Nash Bridges. It was a big success for him, but what surprised many people was when he claimed he was owed a huge amount of money, $23.2 million, from the profits of this popular police drama. A jury agreed with him. At that point, he, who was 60 years old and famous for his role in the show Miami Vice that aired from 1996 to 2001, said he owned half the copyright and deserved part of the profits. On the other hand, the producer, Reicher Entertainment, argued that the costs of making the show, along with other production expenses, meant he shouldn't get any more money. They said he had already been paid what was agreed upon. He was very happy with the jury's decision. He had been waiting for over 10 years for Reicher to recognize him as a co-owner of the Nash Bridges series. All he really wanted was for Reicher to honor their deal, which would mean crediting him for his work on the show and paying him the money he was owed. During the 2-week trial, Reicher argued that the show lost money partly because filming in San Francisco was so expensive. They also claimed he wasn't owed any more money because he had already made about $40 million from working on the show as both an actor and a producer. Nash Bridges had a total of 122 episodes and was popular all around the world, earning $150 million from the show's total earnings of $325 million, according to his lawyers. But this wasn't the only issue. Mark Holscher, his lawyer, said that he might even earn another $25 million in the future because Nash Bridges was still being shown in 45 countries around the world. He believed this case was not just a financial win, but also a personal one for him, as it proved his contributions were valuable and gave him a lot of satisfaction. He also successfully sued two other companies, 2929 Entertainment and Qualia Capital, as part of the same legal fight. In 1976, he received a big honor from the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films for his standout performance in the movie A Boy and His Dog.
Our costume designer came back from Italy, and she had all of these new designers. Gianni Versace was relatively brand new then. I don't think he had one store. Neither did Giorgio Armani.
A few years later, his role in the TV show Miami Vice earned him several award nominations, including an Emmy in 1985. He also received Golden Globe nominations in 1986 and 1987, even winning the Best Actor award in 1986 for his work in the show. In 1988, he was named Male Star of the Year by Show West, and in the same year, he won the Best Male TV Star award from Bravo Auto Germany. On top of that, in 2004, he was given the TV Land Award for Favorite Male Fashion Icon. His interests weren't just in acting, though. He won the World Powerboat Champion title in 1988. Then in 1996, he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a huge recognition of his impact on the entertainment world. Don Johnson's rise to fame and fortune had its ups and downs. While his success was undeniable, there were times when his generosity led him to spend freely on both himself and his loved ones. Born into poverty, he built his wealth from scratch, but often spent beyond his means. At one point, he owed over $5,000 to his local grocery store and even had small unpaid bills, like $50 here and there. He also had medical bills and debts from satellite service. To pay off these growing financial issues, he had to take on jobs that weren't as appealing. And to make matters worse, he battled substance addiction for many years, going through several rehab programs to try and overcome his struggles. Beyond his victories and struggles, personal challenges and triumphs define his journey. Fame, fortune, and misfortune. But this wasn't the hardest part. He also went through multiple failed marriages, including one with actress Melanie Griffith. Despite the personal toll these marriages took on him, they made him stronger. He dealt with a lot of stress during these times, but his life remained full of big achievements and important friendships. He stayed close with well-known people like his Miami Vice co-star Philip Michael Thomas and the famous writer Hunter S. Thompson. In recent years, he experienced a career comeback with his role in the movie Knives Out, directed by Rian Johnson. The film was a huge hit, even though he starred alongside big names like Jamie Lee Curtis and Daniel Craig. His acting career has spanned over 100 roles, and he's also produced 11 projects and directed 2. Right now, he's involved in 4 upcoming films. Even though the Miami Vice movie didn't live up to the TV show's success, this wasn't the end of the story. His career has continued to grow, and he remains an inspiring figure in the entertainment industry. He is undeniably one of the most fascinating and influential actors in Hollywood. His life off-screen has been just as colorful, filled with ups and downs. While he enjoyed the perks of being a celebrity, he also felt trapped by his own fame at times. This fame came with its own set of challenges, including some serious financial struggles. He managed to navigate through these financial storms, but one particular moment stands out. He was once caught up in a situation involving as much as $8 billion. Yes, you read that right, $8 billion. His life has been full of twists and turns, much like a wild roller coaster ride. His professional journey started in the 1970s with small roles in films. For a while, he was just another familiar face in Hollywood, without any major breakthroughs.
From Miami Vice's Sonny Crockett to Nash Bridges, Django Unchained's Big Daddy, and one of my personal favorites, Eastbound and Down's Eduardo Sanchez, Don Johnson has been an American screen presence for 4 decades with some of film and TV's most iconic characters.
But that all changed in the 1980s after a life-changing trip to Florida. It was there that he landed the role of Detective Sonny Crockett on the hit show Miami Vice, which made him a global star almost overnight. But that wasn't the peak of his career. He went on to expand his work into movies, showing off his acting range. In 1988, he starred in Sweetheart's Dance, a romantic comedy that highlighted his ability to take on diverse roles after many dramatic parts. This was just the beginning of his growing success. In 1996, he returned to TV with Nash Bridges, where he played an inspector for the San Francisco Police Department. This show was a big hit and proved that his star power wasn't fading. Over the years, he continued to take on new roles in films like Tin Cup and Django Unchained, as well as guest spots on shows like Eastbound and Down. His work has always reflected his dedication to acting and his ability to keep audiences entertained for decades. What are your thoughts on handling life's unexpected challenges? Share your experiences and insights below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.